Hey YouTube, it's Sierra. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. For today's video, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. If by chance you didn't see my recent Instagram or community posts, I've actually been offline for the last few days as I was in California visiting family. I just got back last night. So to kick off this week and my return back online, so to speak, I thought that for today we could meal prep. So I'm gonna bring you guys along with me as I work on my meal preps. I'm gonna be making some teriyaki chicken and rice bowls. So I'll be showing you all my ingredients, my cooking process, portioning everything out, etc. And then of course, as I'm cooking, we'll also go over my usual updates, how I did last week, what I was up to with my exercise, calories eaten and calories burned. We'll go over my newest weigh-in as well. So yeah, that'll be for today's video. I am super excited to take you guys along this process with me. Real quick, before we get into that, just a fast introduction. My name is Sierra, welcome. A little bit about myself. A few years ago, I was on a pretty significant health journey. I was at the heaviest of my whole life at over 250 pounds. And in that weight loss journey, I lost over 80 pounds completely naturally. Since then, I've been able to keep most of that weight off. However, I've regained roughly 1/3 of it back after having 2 back-to-back pregnancies. So now that I'm postpartum, I'm here documenting my new weight loss journey online, where I'm on a goal to lose 30 pounds by the end of this summer. So come along with me as I work on reclaiming my health, wellness, and body as a postpartum mom. Quick disclaimer before I show you guys my meal prep process. I do apologize in advance. Since I'm out here in my kitchen, it might be a little bit noisier than usual. So sorry in advance. Hopefully the audio is not too choppy, but fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and get right into the cooking, shall we? All right, so first things first, since we're doing some chicken teriyaki bowls, let's go ahead and get the meat prepared. For this, I'm gonna be using chicken breast that I got from Costco. It's just the normal boneless, skinless chicken breast. The macros on it, it is 110 calories per 4 ounces. So I'm going to dice up a couple of these chicken breasts, get them seasoned, and we're gonna set them aside in a bowl so that they're ready to go for cooking. All right, so let's go ahead and start chopping up this chicken. I'm gonna remove my watch for this. I don't know if you guys ever get a little freaked out by germs. I get so scared about cross-contamination with raw chicken, so I'm just gonna set that over there so it doesn't get any chicken on it. Let's go ahead and open this up. I think I'm gonna use maybe half of this, potentially only part of it, I'm not sure. I'll see how I feel once I get everything opened up. If I can cut this open first, that would be great. There we go. Hopefully I don't knock my tripod over. All right, scissors. Scissors secured. Let's go ahead and get this cut open. All right, as I'm looking at this, I think I'm definitely going to use half of this package, which looks about 2, 4, 6 chicken breasts. I'm just gonna drain these out. Okay, my chicken is drained and set here. I'm actually only going to use 5 of these chicken breasts. So let's go ahead and get these chopped up. All right, so our chicken is diced and cut up. I also did my best to remove as much of the excess fat that was left over as well. So now we just need to get these seasoned up. So I'm just gonna go in with some salt. We've got some black pepper, We have onion powder, garlic powder, white pepper, and some crushed red pepper. All right, let's go ahead and get that mixed up. Our chicken is seasoned and mixed up. I know the seasoning looks a little bit light. I did that on purpose because we're gonna be hitting this with the sauce here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this cooked up and let's go to the stove. All right, so I'm getting my pans nice and hot here. I have both of these heating up. The batch of chicken is quite big and I don't want to overcrowd a single pan. So I'm going to split it between two pans. And once they get up to temperature, I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of avocado oil. All right, let's go ahead and add the chicken. All right, so we're going to let this cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. Stir, and then another 3 to 4 minutes until fully cooked. While this is cooking, let's also make our teriyaki sauce. Okay, so for the teriyaki sauce, it's gonna be pretty basic. I just have some pre-made teriyaki sauce here that I got from Fry's, and then I have some chili garlic sauce. So I'm just gonna measure this out and combine them, as well as add some additional seasonings. So I'm gonna aim for about 1/4 cup of the teriyaki sauce, but I have my measuring cup on top of my food scale so I can get the exact grams that I use. That's gonna help make the tracking a lot easier when I go to portion all of this out later. And scratch that, we're actually gonna go for 1/2 cup. Okay, now I'm just going to tear that out and do the same thing for the chili garlic sauce. All right, and now for our seasonings. I'm pretty much just gonna use the same seasonings that I did on the chicken. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white pepper, a little bit of onion, and then I think I'm gonna skip the rest of the seasonings like the salt and pepper, seeing as this is already pretty salty from the teriyaki sauce and already pretty spicy from the chili sauce. So I'm just gonna give this a good stir and then set it aside because I'm gonna drizzle it on top of the chicken once it's done cooking. Okay, so back to our chicken. Let's go ahead and give it a stir and get everything flipped over. All right, now after these cook for a couple more minutes, we're gonna go ahead and drizzle the teriyaki sauce on top of all the chicken. All right, and then let's go in with that sauce. And then I'm just gonna turn the heat down low, so that way the sauce can get nice and coated and hopefully thicken up a little bit over this chicken and everything can soak in the flavor. Also, before I forget, we're also going to steam our veggies. For my veggies inside of these meal prep bowls, I just got these stir fry mixes from my local Fry's. This is just a frozen veggie mix. It's called the Stir Fry Starters. It has broccoli, sugar snap peas, green beans, carrots, celery, onions, and red peppers. So I'm just gonna get these steamed up and then drain the water out. Nothing fancy, just a frozen veggie for today. All right, and while our chicken is finishing up simmering and our veggies are steaming, I thought that I should go ahead and portion out my rice. I got these little meal prep containers from Target. It was $5, which was pretty cool. And then I just have some plain boiled white rice from my stovetop. It's literally just white rice, water, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of avocado oil to help it prevent sticking. So I'm gonna use my food scale right here to get this portioned out. Let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, now that our rice is portioned out, let's go ahead and portion out our veggies. I have my veggies here. They're just steamed with a little bit of water. So I'm gonna use my food scale again and portion them out into each container. All right, so now that we have our veggies portioned out, let's go ahead and do the same thing for our chicken. Now that the chicken's portioned out, I'm just going to hit each container with a little bit of the sauce. All right, so there you have it, the completed product. These are my chicken teriyaki bowls. We've got the rice, veggies, and of course the teriyaki chicken. Let's go ahead and get these lids on and get them in the fridge. I will also post the final macro and calorie count somewhere on the screen once I'm editing the video. All right, so there we have it, the final product. Oh my gosh, this kitchen is a mess. Oh, wait. Much, much better. All right, well, thanks for coming along with me as I meal prepped my dinners for the next couple of days. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now, let's go ahead and talk updates. So, of course, over the last week, last week and a half, I guess, I've been really focusing extra hard on my activity levels, as well as being more mindful of my eating. As you guys might remember from my last video, I didn't have the best track record during that particular week, but I doubled down and put in 110% effort over the last week and a half or so. And I'm super excited to show you guys my next weigh-in. Let's go ahead and check that out right now. Hey everybody, it's Sunday, April 12th. Let's go ahead and do my next weigh-in. All right, 189.4. Yep, so 189.4 was my official weigh-in from this morning, which is awesome. I'm so excited. That's 3.1 pounds down from my last weigh-in. I'm sure a little bit of it is probably a bit of water retention that I lost, but still, 3.1 pounds is fantastic, and I'm so proud of myself. Like I said, the biggest difference that I did between this week and my last weigh-in, I focused extra hard on my exercise and pushed myself a little bit harder with what I was doing in my day-to-day. Every day I burned at least 2,800 calories, which is definitely a little bit higher than my minimum goal. But I was going to the gym every morning, as well as walking and home workouts where I could. And then additionally, when it came to the calories that I was consuming, I had an average of about 1,900 to 2,000 calories a day. So all in all, with both of those things in mind, that's kind of what attributed to the 3.1 pounds lost. So I'm really happy with the results. I'm definitely super excited and even more motivated than before to keep going and keep pushing on. So since we have that weigh-in update, let's go ahead and take a look at my milestone calendar. All right, so since I weighed in at 189.4 pounds this morning, let's go ahead and update my calendar. We're gonna remove 190. We'll keep 189 since we're at 189.4. But that's still really exciting and just one more step closer to my end goal of 165. Back to the main camera. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming along with me for my meal prep, my newest weigh-in, as well as my weight milestone calendar update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for my next update that'll be coming out next week. And again, your support and encouragement means the world to me. So thank you so much for checking out my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. Bye.